Hello and welcome to NJ Thrive's Small Business Webinars. Thank you all for attending. I hope you all are doing well. It is Thursday, November 16th, and you are attending one of our weekly webinars created to help New Jersey small business owners start, grow, and thrive. We appreciate your attendance as always. My name is Uzma Sheikh. I am a consultant here at NJSBDC, which stands for New Jersey Small Business Development Centers Network. It is a statewide program powered by the SBA, which stands for the Small Business Administration, and partners to help small businesses like you in New Jersey with three main things. And those are no cost small business consulting, training and events starting at $0, just like this one, and exclusive small business resources. And if you look on the map over there, that's the map of New Jersey divided into all the counties that there are. And if you see the small SBDC logos, that's where our 10 to 11 regional centers are located. So if you'd like to receive consulting from us, you know where to go, njsbdc.com, and request counseling. And because we are doing this as a virtual webinar, there's limited chance of networking, so I would please request you all to go in the chat, let us know where you're from, who you are, what you do. If you'd like to share your small business website, socials, things like that, and just network and let others know what you do. You never know who you find. You're a supporter, cheerleader, investor. Moving on, we have an agenda for today. So we have a couple of headlines that we would like to share with you that are from the small business community here in New Jersey. Then we'll get to our presentation with our speaker, and then we'll do a Q&A after. So we have three headlines. Let me just walk them through with you, and all these links will be shared in the chat. So please open them at your leisure and look through them, as they're very helpful and can be a great resource. So the first one has been released just yesterday by NJEDA. Governor Murphy commits to over $5.5 million to strengthen food access in Atlantic City. Innovative programs will expand access to fresh groceries for residents in New Jersey's second most acute food desert community. And this is a pretty long press release, so I would definitely recommend that you read it, because it does have very helpful information. For example, just quickly going over it. So as you know, $5.4 million residents. Out of 50 food desert communities, FDCs, Atlantic City is the second highest ranked at that. There are a couple of grant programs. Here we go. So NJDA will also launch the new $5.25 million Atlantic City Food Security Grants pilot program. Helpful, ranges from $50,000 to $500,000 to fund projects to strengthen food security and access. Then there's a Healthy Corner Store initiative. There's a food desert supermarket tax credit initiative. So very useful information to know. Second, we'll move on to business.nj.gov. This is an update from them from 3 days ago. New Jersey employers can apply for up to $200,000 in reimbursement to train employees for skilled jobs. Successful applicants for the Upskill NJ Incumbent Worker Training Grant will be reimbursed up to 50% of the cost. So application closes on December 13th of this year at noon. And if you'd like to learn more, just go to that link. Third and final is train your next generation of workers with apprenticeship grant funds, also released 3 days ago, updated. And they can now help identify new talent, particularly in tight labor market and during periods of low unemployment. So New Jersey businesses can train new workers with support from the following programs, and these programs are the GAINS program and the PACE grant. Up to $12,000 for the GAINS program and up to 12,000 per trainee for pave. Workshop will be held November 20th, so 4 days from today, and for gains and for PACE applicants, you have to register for the November 21st or the 30th workshop. So those are our headlines. Again, links are shared in the chat. Moving on, some housekeeping rules that we like to share with our audience. If you have questions, please put them in the Q&A box. Right where you see the chat box, there is a small box for Q&A. So if you have any questions as the speaker does their presentation, please put them there. So when we do our Q&A session after, we can address them. If you put them in the chat, they'll most likely get lost as we share links and such. Second, if you would like to receive the speaker's slides, then please complete a brief survey. And right when you submit the survey, you'll get a prompt on the next page saying, here's the link. Once you click on that, excuse me, once you click on that link, you will get the slide. Also, a reminder, this webinar is being recorded and it will be available for viewing in 1 to 2 business days, in 1 to 2 business days. Everything is small business once we're here. Yeah, so either on our YouTube channel, you can view it there, or our website. Okay, now I won't take up much of your time. We have our speaker, Jinni Rock. Jinni is one of our specialty consultants here at NJSBDC Network, and we are doing Navigating Procurement Success, your roadmap to profitable opportunities. So thank you, Jinni, for doing this for us. Please turn on your video, audio, and share your screen for us, please.
Sure.
Thank you. And yes, we can certainly share the links again in the chat.
Excellent.
Here we go.
Thanks so much, Isma.
Of course.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is definitely a pleasure for me to present this topic because I know how it can benefit the business owner. I mean, navigating through procurement portals and sites and speaking with people who make these decisions can often be daunting for our small businesses. But it wouldn't be, excuse me, I'm a little tickled today, but it wouldn't be me if I didn't share my value of making sure that you were ready to do this. And I think a few months ago, we did like an introduction to procurement. And I thought it was valuable enough for us to just go over some of the, just to review some of the topics. Again, for those of you who may not have had an opportunity to see it, what I wanted to do is just go over some of the topics that I think will allow us to get a pure understanding of what you're going to get involved in as you navigate through this whole procurement world. So we'll talk over again, what is procurement, what is the language of procurement, the documents you need to compete. And there are some questions that I always have about, ask yourself these things before you get involved in this initiative, and the importance of marketing when it comes to procurement and doing your due diligence and identifying your opportunities. And I must say that I'm going to ask you to put your seatbelts on, because this is, I always have a lot of information, sometimes too much, but I think the beauty of all of this is I want you to leave me knowing that you have a little bit more than what you came with, or knowing that there are opportunities, and to be assured that there are opportunities out there for you to participate in this activity. So what is procurement? It is a process of purchasing goods and services, and usually refers to business spending. Business procurement requires preparation, solicitation, payment processing, which usually involves several areas of your company, such as sourcing, negotiating terms, purchasing items, receiving and inspecting goods, effective record keeping of all record keeping, are keeping records of all the steps. So let me just inject this little commercial for you. I get so excited about these these webinars, because I know that I know how it can change the trajectory of your business, but I also know that the more preparation you have before you enter into this arena, the better off you're going to be and the more successful you'll be, because you will not have to repeat so many of these steps. So when it comes to the language of procurement, it's important that you know what a purchase order is, what a PO is, what a purchase agreement is, what is a service level agreement, what is a master service agreement, and what is a request for proposal. I mean, this is the language of the people, the purchasing agents, the supplier diversity people. This is the language that they will be talking about. So briefly, I just want to give you a snippet of what the purchase order is. It's an official document used by the buyer to the seller, confirming the purchase of specific goods and services. So you'll hear goods and services throughout this presentation, because some people are looking to purchase goods and some people are looking to purchase services, and there's a distinction between the two, and you have to know what that is. And it's important for you to know what it is before you engage in this process. A purchase agreement. It's a legal contract outlining the terms and conditions related to the sale of the goods. A service level agreement defines the level of service expected from a vendor, laying out the metrics by which service is measured and the remedies or penalties, if any, should the agreed on service level not be achieved. This is so important, because if we're not savvy about what we're looking for and how we're going to be able to convince someone that we are the most qualified, the lowest bidder, then we're going to find ourselves in a position we're not going to be able to compete. The master service agreement is a contract reached between parties in which the parties agree to most of the terms that will govern future transactions or agreements. And the request for a proposal is the document announces that funding is available for a particular program or project and solicits applications. This is key. I have more. There's a request for information, invitation to bid, supply agreement. The RFI is a standard business process whose purpose is to collect written information about the capabilities of the various suppliers, which will allow them to make decisions. It's really an inquiry into your business. The invitation to bid is used to solicit bids from potential vendors, and a supply agreement is an agreement between a supplier and a buyer for the supply and purchase of products. So this, we talk about the language of love, the language how we can communicate with each other. This is the language of procurement. And if you're not savvy and don't understand, these terminologies, then I'm not going to say that you can't be successful, but what I'm about is making sure that you have the right information, you understand what the process is, so you don't have to repeat it each time you go after an opportunity. The documents that are needed to submit the party requested items or service. The vendor's information, quantity and descriptions of the item or service required, and pricing. These are, I have 10 key documents that you need to be aware of so you can know what is expected of you and how to prepare them. And I also want to add that while preparing this and me focusing on the value of information, I know that this may be a lot right now, so I often tell my participants to put your seatbelts on. But what we've talked about at NJSBDC is maybe having a part 2 to this, so I can go into more of a deep dive with an RFI and RFP, so you can clearly understand what it is about those two pieces that you should focus in on, and how you should collect information on both of them that you could set aside so you don't have to repeat it. Documents needed to submit an invitation, a business overview, a request for quote timeline. Now, I just want to focus a little on this business overview. It is the description of how you started, what your goals are, and what you really hope to achieve. And more importantly, it's what you have to offer in regards to the opportunity, in regards to providing this service. So I often have my clients do rough drafts on their business overviews, so we can look at it and fine-tune it so it consists of the appropriate adjectives, because it is not your life story. It's the story of your business from a professional standpoint. So these are documents that are submitted. We also talk about identifying opportunities. And I wanted to go back when I was looking at how this program was introduced to you today. I wanted to go back and look at, how do you identify these opportunities? I'm giving you 4, I think we maybe have 4 or 5 of them, that really focuses in on how you can prepare to do it. But I wanted to do a deeper dive so I could answer some questions, if necessary, about how do we really look for these opportunities. You monitor the procurement portals, and what are they? NJStart.gov is a procurement portal. You should be registered in the state of New Jersey. If you're in New Jersey, you can register also if you're not from New Jersey, but certified in New Jersey. You can register on NJStart.gov. And it is an interesting portal, because so often my clients feel it's just too complicated. Jen, I can't find anything. That's why you have to take your time and go through it, because they have opportunities on that site that are for the major categories in the state of New Jersey. And even if you don't see them right away, even if you don't see what you're looking for right away, it doesn't mean that it's not going to be on that site at a given time. So you should be on the state NJStart.gov. Network with potential clients. That we should do that regardless of whether you're looking for procurement opportunities or you're just looking to make sure that your business is positioned in a way where you're not forgotten. So you want to make sure that you network with potential clients. Other procurement opportunities are state agencies, like DOT, State of New Jersey. DOT, I mean, know what your product is, know what you want to sell to them, offer to them, but you should be registered with the Department of Transportation, the state of New Jersey. And you should have your certifications ready to upload on their sites. And I suggest the best way to do that, especially since we're so mobile and we're everywhere, is to have your certifications on your mobile, so that when you're in transit, you can update that certification and put them on the site. And I have found that our agency's websites are more sensitive and more available to the needs of our mobile businesses, because they weren't. But thanks to recommendations and groups that they have asking for how we can be better at serving our clients, which are our businesses, because I'm a business owner as well, have your certification ready on a file. So you can just update it. You can complete the applications on your mobile, update your certifications, and then find the person who is responsible for that service. And you introduce yourself to them. I hear from them, well, people don't really call me, Well, I'm saying that they're waiting for that call. Even if you don't see again your service, like on a DOT opportunity site, again, it's not like they're never going to happen. So you want to make sure that your document's there. That's preparation and registration. Subscribe to interesting newsletters like Business, like other newsletters. I have found that one of the best ways for me to suggest to my client, this is way out there, but it works, is I Google alert industry letters, I Google alert procurement opportunities. I'm looking for domestic as well as international, but you can use your Google alert to provide you with the information that you're looking for. Now, I suggest that you set up a separate email address for them because they come in the middle of the night and there's many of them. So to cloud them or cluster them with your other emails may not be the best business or the smart business decision, but to use this as a resource, I find it to be excellent. So also you look at your state, county, and your city agencies. I think that you should register with your counties. I recommend to my clients to register with 5 counties and check those counties that are doing a robust business in your area, and you define robust. And then you upload your certification, find out again who's responsible for it. I think Essex County is a robust county that if it's not construction, it's transportation, it's goods and services, it's all of those things. It's restaurants that are opening if you're in the catering business. And so you would want to not only register with Essex County, and if you're a veteran out there, please register with Essex County. And if you don't have your registration, make sure you get it and contact me if you have to, and I will help you get it in the state of New Jersey. But you want to make sure that you register in the state and counties, and I can share this with you. I was looking for something for a client in Jersey City, and something just told me to register to go on and look at Jersey City University. And they had an opportunity that had been sitting there for a while on translations. And I was looking for someone else, but I called my client. I said, did you see this? Because she does translations. Boom. She was able to go in there, upload her documents, and the rest is history. So you never know when not only they're looking for what you're providing or offering, but when they're going to request it through an RFP, and you want your documents ready. You want it ready. And so for other states, I would suggest you do that as well. If you're visiting this webinar from another state, I suggest that you do that as well in your own home state. Upload your documents, see what the state has to offer. What I think is so cool, because I'm New Jersey based and live and breathe this, is that through certain other opportunities like our business action committee, you can find so much information about our state departments. Then you do a deep dive into what the services are that they're looking for, from education to arts to transportation to other kinds of services. The postal service, look, that's on the Fed side, but look at that as well. And jumping over to the feds, I'm a little excited now, is SAM, the system for awards management. For so many of our businesses that wanted to get into the federal space, they weren't aware of SAM, but you can't do business in the Fed space unless you're registered with SAM. And then I offer and invite you to also fill out the DSBS. And that's so important because you want to make sure that not only is SAM going to look for opportunities for you, and this is overlooked. This is overlooked when you're filling out your SAM. But not only is Sam gonna provide you with some opportunities for your business based on your codes and your interest and what you tell them about yourself. And Sam initially is very intimidating because it takes so long to do. However, it doesn't take as long as if you have your documents together. If you have your certifications, if you have your EINs, if you have your codes, it doesn't take as long as if you're trying to complete SAM and looking for all the documents. Also, have another person look at it. If it's your business partner, have them look at that application as well to make sure that not that the things that you're saying are reflect your company, but it's to ensure that you don't leave anything out. So you want to make sure that you look at that you register with SAM. Also, New Jersey Transit. New Jersey Transit is an excellent opportunity for you to provide services. And when you look at what you're servicing, what your services are, the goods that you want to provide, don't second guess yourself in thinking that they're not required in that space. Because I can only speak from my clients, but I think about my food truck client and how we position her at different spaces in the state so she can generate revenue, because that's all it's about. You want to be in a transportation space. You want to be in a parking lot if you can. You want to be on a main drag if you can. You want to make sure that your business is where your traffic is going to be. So when I think about New Jersey Transit and their cute little cafes inside, take that next step to participate in procurement opportunities. You have to think bigger than where you are, unless your organizational structure is where you want to be. I'm not saying you have to go from a sole proprietor to an LLC, but don't think small if you want to be big. Think big. It's there. Don't get frustrated. Don't get frustrated by this happened to us, by not being selected. I went to a briefing yesterday with NYCHA, New York City Housing Authority. And what I learned from that briefing was that not only did they have the information for my clients, my New Jersey clients, to participate, but they also had their contractors there to talk about their experience. So that leads me to getting on those mailing list for those institutions that you want to do business with when they are offering these briefings, when they are offering these training programs, especially, I was going to say especially in construction, but in all the areas, because they need you. These businesses need you for a lot of reasons. They need you. And you don't want to sell yourself short, but you also want to be prepared. You want to be prepared. GSA is another daunting, ask a lot of questions, opportunity, but if you're ready for it, look into it. Look into that. But with the state, and with the state agencies, I'm inviting you to ensure that you have your state certifications. When you want to inquire about it, fine. Go see what you have to have about it. I'm telling you that you'll need your SBE, your MBE, your DBE. So the clients call it my certification soup bowl, but it's true. You'll need your DBE, your WBE, and your MWBE, regardless, and your LGBTQ+, which we offer in the state of New Jersey. You want to make sure that you're prepared. I'd rather you have more than less. So what happens? I'm not there yet in the presentation, but I'm there in my thoughts. So you're not sure whether you're going to be able to participate in a bidding process because you're not ready. To get ready, to help you get ready, you should go to the pre-bid, to all the pre-bids, to find out what companies are applying, are registering to participate in the opportunity, regardless of what it is. And then you look at those companies that are registering, because you also get a copy of the list. You look at those companies and you say, what do I have to offer that company? For instance, let's say you're in the expediting business. You may not want to be a prime, but architects, engineers, builders, developers, building departments, they need your service to file those forms. So you want to make sure that if there is a RFP out there that architects and engineers are going to, and you're in expediting or you're in an ancillary function, you provide an ancillary function that those businesses need, you need to be there. Why? Because they need you. They need you as a sub. So you want to make sure that you're there. You want to make sure that you have the documents and the information that they need. And so often at those pre-bids, it could be a capability statement with a QR code on it to open up the doors to other information about your company. So you want to make sure that you're ready. I'm all about being ready, because I know that when you're not, it takes more time, which takes away from your potential revenue generation, which is not what you want to do. You want to understand an opportunity has been identified. This could involve reading through the procurement documents, understand the requirements of the procurement documents, and again, attending pre-bid meetings or asking questions to the procurement entity. So when one of my clients isn't ready, but they're interested and they're hungry, we'll look at an RFP and we'll go through that RFP and pick out those items where they could turn into a template, and then look at the items that they're requesting. And it's like doing a mock training. We complete the RFP for readiness. And it's also a good motivating tool, but we complete it for readiness. So they know that when they're ready to complete that RFP of their dreams, they'll have their template ready with all of their contact information, with their codes, with everything that they need. And then they can focus in on the goods and services required. And you can ask questions. You can have somebody else look at it. But in order for you to know that an opportunity has got to be identified, you have got to be on that site. And that's why I know I'm so adamant about having all this information. I'm going to say, I'm not going to say it again, but that's not true. But having all the information that you need and go over it. And again, don't look at not being the person selected as the end of your business life. It's a lesson learned, but it doesn't mean that it could be the end of your participation in that process, because there are some bids that require the successful recipient of the bid to have a number of MBEs, people with SBEs, but mainly MBEs and WBEs readily available to participate. So while you're completing the RFP, you're also looking for other businesses that would want to come in and work with you. So it's a process, but it doesn't have to be so daunting where you're backed against the wall and not sure whether you want to do it. But if you're prepared, there is a sense of ease that knows that a large percentage of the document, whatever it is completed. Prepare a competitive bid. Can involve pricing the goods or services competitively, demonstrate the ability to meet the requirements, provide all necessary documents. So let's look at pricing and goods. If you're thinking about participating in a procurement opportunity, you should be working on that right now. And there's a number of resources that you can use at some of our libraries has information about pricing and goods of a service. You may want to use that. You can look at other bids that are available similar to what you're interested in. Don't wait. Look at how to price your services and be competitive. Look at what others have done. And you know, I put prepare a competitive bid. Everybody wants to have a competitive bid. Everybody wants their bid to be competitive, but you got to do the work. And once you get the hang of it and you stay in it, you know, I can't promise a success, but I can promise that you can be competitive. And I can promise that you will learn with each RFP that you complete. You will learn, and that's the important thing. And you will not make the same mistakes over and over again, because mistakes are cool too. You learn by mistakes. But when you're looking at increasing your revenue and being competitive, you want to curtail the number of the same mistakes that you've made. And you can do it by being prepared. The next step is to submit the bid before the deadline. It's vital that you follow all submit instructions to avoid disqualifications. And so, you know, I smile at this one because I know so often when it comes time to submit the bid, the client is saying, well, how many copies do I have to make? And who gets originals? And now you have to know all that. But there is more of a sense of ease and accomplishment if you submit the bid earlier, which means that you have to stay on top of it. And sometimes that takes a team. Than if you wait. And you have to follow all the instructions. And so what is the common response is, well, it's repetitive. Well, if they're asking you to be what you believe is repetitive, you better do it. Put that information in there. And I look at the clients, and you know, your eyes are glassing over because it could be 60 pages, it could be 200 pages. That's why it's really important to have someone else work with you on it so you can divide it up, or work with some good technicians, some good consultants that are out there that can help you with this. But you know, you want to make sure that you believe that you're proud of your submission, and that if called upon, you can respond to the question. That's so important. You want to be in a position where if called upon to explain something, you can respond to the question. And regardless of how you may feel about not getting it, you may also want to have a conversation of why you did not get it. Negotiate contract terms. If a bid is selected, you may need to negotiate the contract terms with the procuring entity. So you have to be prepared to do that. And you have to be prepared to do it on your pricing and your ability to get it done. You may have to negotiate delivery timelines. Other key contract terms. And you want to be in the position where you can do this. So I'm gonna say, gotta be prepared. You have got to be prepared. this isn't, this is not only a game for the mighty, it's a game for the smart. Because you have to know this. And then it becomes a second nature in a way. You'll look at a bid and you'll divide it up to your team, and your deadline will be way before that deadline, so you can review it team by team. I hope this is helpful. Once the contract is signed, the vendor must fulfill their obligations under the contract. This involves delivering the goods and services agreed and maintaining good communication with procuring entity. This is not the time where you say, oops, I don't think I can do this. This is not the time where you say that. Because you've lined up all the responsibilities that you have, and you've lined up all the reasons why you can fulfill them. After the contract completed, vendors often seek feedback from the procuring entity. You have the right to do that. They can use the feedback for the goods and services and bidding process for future procurement. As a matter of fact, I personally, not that I go with the client, it's not that I go with the client, but I personally think that this is a good way to learn how to, have a relationship with the procurement entity. It's a good way for you to learn how to speak the language, and they want you. It's not like they're saying, you didn't get the contract, so I don't want to see you again. They want to tell you how you can improve. It helps them too, for you to improve and be a competitive bidder, because it widens their pool of contractors to use. So you want to be in that position. And you want to learn because you want a success, but you determine that. You determine what the success is. So I ask you to ask yourself these questions. Are you ready for the new business that the procurement opportunity can give you? Well, because the new business is going to change the way you do business. So are you ready for that? Will the new business change the culture of the company? How will the new business change the operations of the company? Now I have you already winning the contract, but how is that going to change the operations of the company? And this is actually when companies say, I like being kind of small. When the owners say, I kind of like being kind of small. What is this going to do to us? Will we still have the same culture? No, these are pertinent questions that you ask yourself. Will the operations of the business remain sustainable under the government payment terms? One of the only questions during the first part of the NYCHA briefing yesterday was, why does it take you so long to pay us? This is what those contractors were asking. Why does it take so long? Some of the contractors say, well, sometimes I can finagle stuff where I can pay them and, have some kind of relationship with them so they know that they're going to get paid. But as a business owner, you have to know that. Are we in the position to operate without payment for 45 days? Do we have a plan to scale up or scale down for the new business opportunity? These are key questions that you should ask yourself before you submit the RFP, and they should be reviewed when you do it. Because once you submit it, it's like trying to get the mail out of the mailbox. You can't get it. You want to make sure that you're ready for what changes are going to be made in your business. And then you have to look at marketing. Enhance the company's overall PR and marketing program. You have to look at your social media presence, which is key. Are you on those platforms where you can be found with the right information? Build a website. Use your domain name for email. Even though I'm all for that. I'm all for that. but Google gives the domain name a really good run for their money, but you want to have a domain name because it does make you look, more business. Don't have Yahoo, what's some of the other ones, Hotmail. You want to have your domain name, and when you can afford it and you build an email address, you have an email address, have it in your email, and also make sure you publicize your website. Look at your search engine optimization to see where the traffic is. And I strongly suggest that everyone have a capability statement. So do your due diligence, have your documents ready, know who you want to do business with, the government, corporate, or customers, B2B. Learn the purchasing process for the institution that you want to work with. Step 3 should really be first. So you want to know, after you do your due diligence and deep dive into that institution or that government agency, it may not be for you. So you want to know that ahead of time and know the government purchasing agents. Know your supplier diversity of agents. Most of them you can talk to on the phone. As a matter of fact, I don't know one that we couldn't pick up the phone and talk to them. And they talk within their communities. People have them talk at libraries for businesses. Get on that list and find out where the purchasing agent is that's responsible for the goods that you're trying to sell them. What is procurement? The language of procurement, documents needed. Ask yourself those questions, the importance of marketing, doing your due diligence and identifying opportunities. This review will change the trajectory of your business, will improve your revenue stream. And that's what we want. Thank you so much. I'm so glad we had this opportunity to spend time together. So I'll take the questions.
We do have a couple of questions. Thank
Okay.
you, Jinni. All right, so can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Awesome. All right, so just a reminder before we get into our Q&A session with Jinni. Yes, this webinar is being recorded. It will be available on our NJSBDC website. I can show it to you at the end, or our YouTube channel in 1 to 2 business days. And the slides that Jinni shared, they are also available when you complete a brief survey telling us how Jinni's doing, what kind of topics and webinars that you'd like to see. If you want Jinni to come in and do a second webinar on this in detail, things like that. All right. So let's get to our first question. The first one, I can't see their name, so I apologize. But the first question is that the same as sources sought? And I believe this is way back when you started the presentation. So if you can clarify, the person who asked this question, if you can clarify what you mean or go in detail of what you were asking, we can certainly get to it later. So I'll move on to the next question. And that is from Chasey. Apologies if I'm saying that wrong. But they ask, how long are the timelines from time of request?
For the time of request? It could be, you really don't know when they're going to let you know who's a successful bidder. It could be 6 weeks, it could be longer. But I can't give an answer to that because we don't know. All I know is that we have the documents in on time. And this is a good question, because if your business is depending on this, then maybe you should really think about it. And I'm not saying that that's what the question is about, but there's no real true answer. I can give a guesstimate. It's like with our certifications, I can say maybe 4 to 6 weeks. But when it comes to something like this, and they may have thousands of people, applying, I can't give a good answer for it.
Got it. No worries. We'll get to our next question.
Mhm.
Monica asks, I'm sorry, don't be sorry. There's nothing such as a stupid question or anything like that. Monica asks, what is SAM?
SAM the acronym is the system that for awards management. And I'm so glad you asked, because I wanted to make sure that I had the correct, because I can give an appreciation. It's required for any entity to bid on and get paid for for federal contracts or to receive federal funds. In a nutshell, if you're going to work for the federal government and you're not in SAMS, you're not going to get paid. That's basically what it stands for. And then I'm asking you to do a second thing, get into SAMS, and because that's the only way that they pay. And I also want to add that it's for businesses, it's for nonprofits, it's for government contractors, subcontractors, state governments, and local municipalities. We focus on the state governments, but if you're going to participate in this arena, you should be in SAMS, and don't overlook the opportunity to apply for the DSPS. No, it's a little long, but. And also is when I want them to know that if there's a question, if we run out of time, if they leave their email address, I can get back to them.
For sure. We can
Okay.
definitely do that. And just want to point out also for some questions or some cases where it's like specific and it needs to be like, sort of a case study, and that requires counseling, then unfortunately, because we're restricted on time, we can't answer those questions, or we can't just like help you during this webinar. So please go to njsbdc.com/request counseling. There's this apologies if the website I'm saying is not the correct. I think there's a dash in between, but it will be shared in the chat. So please go to that website, register, and tell us. There will be a box where you can briefly describe what you need assistance with. And, just let us know. I attended this procurement webinar with Jinni Rock Bailey. I would like to speak to her. Please guide me to her. And someone will, reach out and pair you up with Jinni.
I'll materialize. I will materialize. No.
She just magically appears. Like, what can I help you with? But yeah, you can be paired with Jinni. Next question, also from Chasey. Where can I find info on prices of others to compete? Ooh, interesting question.
Well, it's out there. I would suggest right away, don't purchase it. Don't purchase it. I know that because I've worked there for so long, I know that the library on the lower campus of Rutgers, you don't even have to go there. Our library system in the state of New Jersey, you're able to get that information, especially if you go to their marketing department and you ask them. You also can secure that information from state sites. I would also go to Business Action Committee and ask them for an intro to that information, because they're very helpful. And then also we at NJSBDC, we deal with a lot of different kind of statistical data. So check us out too.
Yep, a great resource. All right, next question from Corinne. I have been ready. I have the certification for SBE and MBE registered on SAM, but it is not easy to bid. So do you have help in that area so we can understand how to bid?
This is like you're so right on time, because that's what part 2 of this is going to be. And I'm deciding on whether to pick an RFP, or just go right to SAM, because SAM is just so much. But what I'd like to do is take you through that, because it's not fair for me to just give you a quick answer, because I know it's not easy. And I've got some best practice tips on how to maneuver through it. So that's all I can give you right now. But take Uzma's advice and ask for counseling.
Yes, we can certainly help you with that. So again, my answer is that go to our website, request counseling with Jinni. Also keep that reminds me, sign up for our newsletters. So if you are not sure on when, let's say Jinni's next webinar is going to be, and you don't know if it's going to be like December or next year, whatever it is, sign up for our newsletters. You never know if this is the only topic that you need help with. You might need help with marketing or accounting, and we can certainly help you with those topics as well. And we regularly try to do our webinars on those topics, especially with tax season coming up. So that's going to be big. So if you go through our video library of all the recordings, you'll find other webinars that Jinni has done previously as well, if you want to watch them in the meantime. All right, moving on to the next question from Amy. Where can we find pre-bids?
Most of that information is offered on the site that you're interested in. I want to use my words carefully, that you're interested in bidding on a contract. I want to make sure that that I give you the right information that will allow you to go to the next level, because that's important too. But most of the sites will have that kind of information for you. I just want to think of quick if I have an example, because the pre-bid is so necessary, and you let me just leave it at that. Go to a site where you're interested in putting in a contract, either submitting a contract or an RFP, and then look at how you can look at the pre-bids for it. I know that's like such a around the way answer, but and one of the reasons why it's like around the way is every institution has its own way of publicizing their opportunities. I think that's the best way to say it. There's no one way to ferret out this information. They all have their own unique process. And sometimes it's like muddled to us, but they have their own unique process and how they want you to bid on a contract. I think that's a better way to say it. I hope that answered your question.
Got it. Anton asks, when you said our email should be our domain, what exactly are you saying?
Oh, I got a little piece in there. In your email, you should, when you can, have an email that has your domain name in it. So my email is hr@rock-bailey.com, and that's the name of my company, rock-bailey.com. And so in the eyes of people who are making decisions about your business, so often they want to see, are you legitimate? If it was Jinni@yahoo.com, take me seriously. And so what the domain name also shows them is you've made an investment in your business, as slight as it might be. It shows that you've made an investment. I might have gotten a little carried away with how I said it, but that's what I meant.
Yeah, it's if I can just add on to that. So like when you are creating your own website, and if you're purchasing the domain name, if you're purchasing that website, then you can use that in your email. And I think you answered that question, Jinni. Anton says thank you.
Oh, good.
And the next question is from Tiffany. Do you assist on pricing? We have lost contracts because our bids were too high. Is there some advice?
Yeah, and that actually calls for a consultation, but I can definitely share some advice. And then I can also look at maybe there were some things that you did not consider in your previous, submissions that we could take a look at. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, so we can definitely assist you, Tiffany. Our answer to that again is please go to our website, request counseling, and we'll do our best to connect you with Jinni. And all right, and Amy lastly says Amy is also SBE registered, MWBE registered, SAM registered.
Mhm.
I feel how to look for bids in New Jersey. Um, Same concern as the previous question that was shared. And uh, again, a consultation with Jinni, I think can definitely help with your concerns. All right, so we don't have any
So
questions.
can I just make one other
Of
statement
course,
on
yes,
that?
yes.
So an example is if you were going to look at, and I want to make sure I stay on topic here, but if you're going to look for an opportunity, let's say in one of our municipalities, you would go to the municipality site, you would search by seeking business with women-owned businesses, minority-owned business, how to do business with small business, if there is not a tab on the site. Once you find that, then you register with them because
Mhm.
the registration is key. Once you find that intro, that opening to how you can upload your documents, then it takes you to where opportunities are, where those opportunities are for that. And again, at Rutgers, it's different. The
Yeah,
process is different. Uh, PSC&G, it's a little different. The process is different.
absolutely. Um, okay, so that concludes our Q&A session. And what we'll do now is I want to thank you, Jinni. Thank you so much for your time, for your
Thank you.
presentation. We certainly, the audience definitely found everything very helpful.
Okay.
So what I can do right now is share with everyone my screen and just quickly show you what we're talking about. So when we say go to our website, njsbdc.com, and I am referring you to request counseling. So just when you type njsbdc.com, this is the page that shows up. And again, this is a great resource. So if you want to take out like maybe 5 to 10 minutes of your day to just check out our website that we have a blog, we have a resources hub, podcast that you can listen to. Great website, great resource. Then you can directly request counseling from here, or if you click this red button right there, it'll take you to the same thing, request counseling. All you do is put in your email, then you select the county that you're from or where your business is from. And of course, these are all counties in New Jersey. We can only serve our clients from New Jersey or small businesses in New Jersey. However, the SBDC program is a nationwide program. So let's say you are attending this webinar just because you found it online, it was interesting, but let's say you are from California or Texas. Just go on Google and type Texas SBDC and you'll find SBDCs there, or again, it is a nationwide program. When you request counseling, it'll take you to, well, I'll have to fill out my thing, but it'll take you to a different page and you have to register and just say I would like to request procurement assistance with Jinni. Next is our video library that I want to share. So this is a link that we've been sharing, and you can view all the upcoming events and you can sign up for our newsletter. But for example, this is where we store all our recorded webinars. So whether it's tech or whether it's QuickBooks, whether it is how to get funding for a small business, SBIR, SATR grant writing, whatever it is, just, go at the end of every page and you'll see the option to load more because we've been doing this. And look, we have a webinar with Jinni, how veteran-owned small businesses can tap into for contracting dollars, right? So lots of good information. Oh, look, another one. Small Businesses Guide to Procurement, right there.
Those again.
So yeah, Jinny just appears magically when
Just
you look
pop
for
up.
her. All right.
Great.
Um, and with that, we'll conclude. If you are all attending this webinar because clearly you are in business. However, let's say you have a friend or a family member and they would like to register their business, or you want to register a new business or something like that, then we have a webinar coming up with Vanessa, our startup consultant, on Tuesday. This is session 3. We're not sharing, and I'm going to say this very carefully, we're not sharing new information every session. It is repeated information. However, we're doing this so we can help, entrepreneurs who have ideas in New Jersey, who have ideas, they want to start their own business, and they don't know how to register. So this is why we're having these sessions. And, just like going through SAM or the procurement process can be a little confusing and information can be muddled. Registering your own business can also be sometimes confusing if you don't know the right thing to look for. And that is what we help you with when we have these sessions. So if you're interested, if you'd like to refer a friend to this, please attend this Tuesday webinar. You can view them. And we have helped 15,000 plus small businesses in New Jersey start, grow, and thrive. No cost small business consulting, training and events starting at $0, exclusive small business resources. Thank you all so much for attending. Thank you for your continued support. We always appreciate it. And we look forward to having you join us on Tuesday or the next Thursday. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you so
Jinny.
much. Thanks to you.
Bye.
Thanks,
Have a
everybody.
good day. Have a good week.
Bye.